Alright, so I'm going to try something new here with this. I've got a lot of footage from my drive home one afternoon, and it's about 45 minutes to an hour worth of footage. I've condensed it down to about 15 minutes, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a chat. We're going to call this a visual podcast, if you will. Be something, if you guys enjoy it, let me know, and I'll try it out going forward. And if you don't, then we won't do it again. So what I'm going to do is make the topic of this particular chit chat the next bariatric video that I had in mind. And the video that I had in mind is where I'm at so far in the process. So I started this process August of last year, and it has taken me up to this point. And where I'm at right now is, as of Monday, I received a call from my doctor's office, and my file has to go to one last place in order to okay me for the surgery. And it's somebody reviewing my CPAP, my sleep apnea file, because they have to make sure all that's taken care of as well, because you can't go into surgery with your sleep apnea being messed up, because that can cause problems. So that's where I'm at. Once the sleep apnea doctor okays it, then I should be scheduling my surgery probably within the next month, before September. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. So what happened, or what started as of last year, is I made the appointment with the bariatric surgeon and went and had a conversation with them. And from there, the doctor explains to you everything that's going to happen and what the surgery entails, and he gives you kind of like an overview of everything pre-surgery, post-surgery, and then you get a list of particular doctors or specialists that you have to see. And then there's also a bunch of tests that you have to take and make sure that you're able to make it through the surgery, because that's still another concern. So with this particular surgery, um, you have to see you have to have an EKG done. You have to have blood work done. A part of the blood work, or part of the test that you do with the blood work, is you have to blow into a bag, drink a liquid, and then blow into the bag 15 minutes later. And during the 15 minutes, you can't open your mouth or anything. And supposedly, there's like a bacteria that can grow in your stomach when you're real young that the that they need to know if you have before you have surgery. So it's EKG, blood work, test. You also have to go in and they x-ray you from your mouth to your stomach while you drink this contrast liquid, which tastes like a liquefied rubber glove. Like if you've ever blown into a latex rubber glove, like when you're a little kid, blow it up, make it look like a chicken. That's kind of what it tasted like to me. It was wretched. And then, I guess something didn't happen properly, so I had to drink it a second time. Oh, it was so bad, y'all. It was terrible. But it was interesting because I got to watch my wife do it, because she's interested in, or she wants to go through the surgery as well. So I got to watch hers happen, which was it's really weird to watch, like a liquid go in your mouth and down your throat into your stomach and stuff. But at the same time, it was cool to watch, So after that test, you have to you have to go to a nutritionist in a group setting. You have to see a nutritionist solo. When we saw our nutritionist solo, he wanted us to come back, so we had to come back and do a second visit. Then you have to see a psychiatrist, and they basically verify that there's no other underlying factors to why you're having the surgery, and to basically see if you're actually mentally ready and capable of having the surgery and being able to stick to everything post-surgery. They verify that you don't have you don't have some other um, mental illness that's causing you to overeat and things like that. So we saw the psychiatrist. Yeah, we saw him one time, and then I'm trying to think what else. They want you to start the high protein, low carb diet pre-surgery. So that is something we've started and have been on for a little while. I've lost a little bit of weight. I gained some weight at one point and then I lost it. Um, you also have to give up caffeine, carbonated beverages. Um, most people within the first year can't have red meat or pork. That varies person to person, so that's something we have to pay attention to after the surgery. And like I said, once all that happens, once you see all these specialists, I'm trying to think if there's any other specialists we saw. I don't think there was. I think that's all of them. But the only reason it's taken us a year is each of the specialists only work on like a certain day of the week, and then it had to coincide with my work schedule because we went to Gainesville because I was unaware of there actually being a surgeon in the Jacksonville area. So I'm driving 2 hours every time we go see this doctor and these specialists. Um, so that's been part of like between my schedule and having to cover shifts at work and stuff like that first, and also having the gas money to get all the way to Gainesville, because it is, like I said, about a 2 hour drive from where we're at, and then coinciding with when the doctors are actually there and the specialists are actually there. It's taken this long. It's taken about a year to get all of that done, get all of these tests done, and get to where I'm at now. Actually, probably would have been looking at the surgery in July, but we went beginning of July to do um, the blood work and the labs, and I didn't realize that one of the medications I'm on, which is a prescription version of Nexium, I didn't realize that that was on the list of medications you can't take for 2 weeks in order to do the breathe in the bag test. So I went and did all the blood work, then had to stop, you know, taking the Nexium or whatever for 2 weeks in order to go back and take to do the labs for the breathing in the bag. So that was a little wrench in there that if I paid attention to the paperwork, I guess probably I'd be looking at surgery already, or I'd be in post surgery. But that's neither here nor there. Whatever happens, happens, and you just kind of roll with the punches and live on. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with the whole surgery process. I'm in a waiting game, waiting for them to call me and tell me that everything passed, and then I can go ahead and schedule it. And then they'll, once they schedule it, it gets submitted to my insurance and make sure the insurance will pay for it. So I know some other people I work with who have had this surgery, so the insurance should pay for it. It shouldn't be any issues as far as that goes. Um, but I think that's where we're at right now. My wife, they want her to go do a sleep study test to see if she has sleep apnea, which every doctor she's spoken to has said she doesn't have sleep apnea, but they want her to do it just in case. But they don't want to let her go see a physician in Jacksonville. They want her to come to Gainesville and talk to their physician, which I can kind of understand why, but at the same time, I don't see why it's necessary for us to go all the way out there. So she's actually about to start a new job, so hers is kind of getting put on hold until she's been with the company long enough to be able to take time off to have the surgery and stuff like that. So that's where we're at for hers. She's done all the same tests. I had actually thought about getting the surgery quite a few years ago, back when my son was really young, and financial things got in the way, and it just never happened. And the reason we decided this year or last year to do this is it was brought up by one of my wife's physicians that it was an option for her and for some other medical things that she has to take care of. So that's where that, like I said, that's where we're at on that. Um, I guess I'm going to go ahead because it didn't go very long. I'm going to go ahead and explain why I'm doing the surgery. So as of my last weigh-in, I weigh 548 pounds. I at the beginning of this year, or yeah, beginning of this year, I was a little bit heavier than that, and then I went down. I got down to like 520. Then it came back up, and it's gone back down. So I take, and then like I said, last weigh-in was about a month ago. I weighed 548, and before that, I weighed 528 again because I was at 548 the time before that because I had lost like 17 or 19 pounds. I can't remember. Um, so once they schedule me for my surgery 2 weeks prior to the surgery, I'll have to go on a liquid diet, and that should help me drop some more weight before the surgery to help out with the surgery because they do want you to get as low as you can because it decreases the size of your liver and it makes the surgery a little bit easier for the doctors to do. So that's again, so that why I'm doing the surgery again. Like I said, right now I weigh like 530, 528, something like that. And I've always been heavy set as a kid and into high school and young adulthood, and now I've got kids. My my biggest concern with getting the weight off is I want to be around when my kids have kids. I want to be able to hang out with my grandkids. I want to have fun with my grandkids. And honestly, I want to have fun with my kids now. And there's some things that I can't do because of my size. It's not necessarily like I can't move to do it. I don't have a problem like moving. It's just like I physically can't get my body into spaces and do things with them that they want to do. And my weight does slow me down and it makes it harder to walk for long periods of time. I don't honestly have too much of an issue with that. We go to the zoo and I'll walk 6, 7 hours straight at the zoo. No big deal. And we've gone to Disney and walked all day, um, a few years ago. But I want, my weight's been an issue ongoing, like I said, since I was little. I've been trying to lose the weight since my son was born. So for about 11 years now, it's been a roller coaster. I got down to 450 at one point and then gained it all back. And then I'll get back down and back up and back. And I've been on diet after diet and I've tried everything. I can't get anything that seems to stick and stay with me. So my hope with this surgery is that, um, with the diet I'll be on top of the fact that my body won't be absorbing as much of the food and stuff that I take in, that I'll be able to get the weight off and keep it off. I know what I have to do, and I've tried it time and time again. It just doesn't ever stick. So that's why I've decided to do the surgery. That's why I want to get the surgery done. Um, it, right now, I mean, I'm only 33, and I weigh 530 pounds, and it's embarrassing sometimes because you can't sit in a chair with arms. I see the looks when I walk into rooms, and even people that know me, I see the looks that I get from those people, and you can feel their judgment, and it may not necessarily be on purpose. It may just be reflexes, but they do it, and it gets old. On top of the fact that my family is, as much as they, not my wife and kids, but my extended family, you know, as much as they claim they want to help, some of the things they say, they don't help, and they're just mean, and they're hurtful, and you just kind of ignore it and move on because they're family, but it it plays with you mentally. The weight problem isn't just a physical problem; it's a mental problem. One of the things that I have realized over the years is that I'm a stress eater. So when I get stressed, I turn to food, and that's part of the reason I started with these videos and stuff. Is instead of turning to food to stress, I grab the camera and I go talk about something. I bring up some kind of topic, and I record plenty of stuff that I don't ever post, just because it's me rambling into the camera sometimes. You know, mainly just trying to de-stress myself, because I told somebody the other day I feel like maybe I was a really horrible person in a past life, and my karma's catching up with me, because some days it's just, I feel like everything's against me, and so I stress, and food's always been my comfort. I like the taste. I've got um, a really sensitive taste palette, and so I taste all the flavors and things that sometimes people never even realize are there. So that's that's a little bit into it. I think to really get into why the surgeries for me, we'd have to get a little bit into the compartments of my mind, and some of the things that I've tried over the years, and some of the things I've done over the years that, you know, may have not have been the best choices, but I did them, and I have to live with them, and they've gotten me to this point in life, and now I need to fix those mistakes, and I need to um, get the weight off, so that it doesn't, those mistakes that help me get the weight on don't cause me to die prematurely, especially with two young kids and a wife. You know, I want to walk my daughter down the aisle if she decides to get married. I want to be there, when my son has his first kid. I want to be there to see my kids graduate. I want to be there to live life, and there's other things I want to do, like vacations, and there's theme parks I want to go to that, because of my size, I can't ride a lot of the rides. I told somebody at work that as soon as I get down thin enough, I'm gonna get passes to Universal in Orlando so I can go ride the Harry Potter ride, because right now I'm too fat to ride the ride. The seats won't secure on me. And a lot of Disney's rides, they're bigger, people friendly, but they're not. It it still sucks when you have to take an entire row where two people or three people can sit in a row because they're smaller than you. That's that's that hits you mentally, like you realize that, and it kind of, as much as I love Disney and I love going on the rides and stuff like that, that kind of sucks a little bit of joy out of the rides, is seeing the looks from people because you're so big in situations like that. So it's I guess it affected me as a kid, more so than I let on, and so it's been something that's probably affected me more than, now that I think about it and talk about it, it's affected me a lot more even as an adult. So it's rough. It's rough being a fat person living in a skinny person's world. Everything's designed for thin people. You know, and if you want something designed for a big person, you got to pay a lot of money for it. Chairs and things like that. I'm very cautious about where I go based on the chairs they have, so I don't break a chair because it can't hold my weight. But anyways, the wife and kids are home, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me ramble on. Till tomorrow.